Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. First off, I'm gonna just try and tackle this window and get it back together. Now I know I mentioned briefly in the last episode I was gonna do a tape, just kidding around, but I did go to the store and I did get a BMX tube just from Walmart, and I'm gonna give this a go. First off, I'm just gonna inflate the tube just to put some air in it, get all like, you know, puffed up and see how big it actually is. And looking at it, it looks like I actually could have went down the size. I got a 27.5 tube. I think a 26-inch tube or a 24 would have been more ideal. It probably would have fit nice and tight actually. But what we gotta do here is make a slit on the inner side of the tube all the way through. And then I'm just gonna try and wrap it around the window nice and tight. But as you can see, it's slightly a little bit too big, so that's where the 24-inch tube or a 26-inch tube would probably be better for this application. Now, I'm just gonna use some electrical tape just to help hold it in place while I get this sorted out and situated. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just spray with some glass cleaner, just something to keep it like a little lubed up, a little wet while trying to fit this, because it is pretty tight and it's gonna be a pain in the ass to fit this thing. I can already tell. The front half of the window went right in the frame, not too bad, but the back half of the frame really was painstaking. It took a little bit of force. I was almost scared I was gonna break the window and cut myself up pretty good. But you know, I just took my time with it. I almost put all my weight into it, maybe, I don't know, 50 or 60, 70, 80 pounds just to try and close this gap up a little bit while I screw in the hinge in the back. But yeah, it looks like it's gonna work. It seems nice and tight. And yeah. All right, now with the bolts back in, holding the hinge together, now we can just go around with the sharp razor blade and cut off the excess tube and the electrical tape. So the key is just you want to do this once, so just kind of dig into it pretty hard if you can. That way you got a nice clean cut. A better or a brand new razor blade would also help. I got a used one right here, but it's still sharp and it seems to do the trick. But overall, I think it came out pretty good, and I'm happy with it. I think it's gonna do the job. I don't think it's gonna leak because it was such a tight fitment, and for the rain to like go around that channel and leak on the inside of the car, I just don't see it happen. So for me, I'm gonna call this a success. It's not the proper way to do this, but I think with a 24-inch tube, you could do it without having that slit in the backside of the backside of where the hinge is, if you know what I mean. Because the stuff they sell is this black rubber stuff here, and it's not even a closed loop. You have two ends here, you know what I mean? If you could have like a total, just one that you would stretch over the window nice and tight, I think that'd be your best bet, honestly. But anyways, that's the window. That's all set. Should be good to go. And now on to the next thing. All right, I took a break from the main wiring harness and I just started to work on my interior lights a little bit because I did mention that in the last episode as well. And I did put, it's not a momentary switch, but it is an on-off switch and it does light up. Well, it's not on obviously, but when I tested it, it does work. It's all grounded out already. I have it just, let's see. I got just grounded the chassis up there. When I go back in the future, I'm gonna obviously take the paint off a little bit better than that, get a better ground. This is my main power right here. It'll just be a 12 volt. I can just run it in line with a fuse or maybe somewhere in the main harness, but it does work off the door switch too, which is cool. So even when the door is shut and the lights are off, I can still use the button to turn it on. And this lights up a little ring on an end too, and it looks pretty good. And I just have the wiring kind of just tucked up on top there. And then I just have it going down right here. Yeah, kind of out of the way, pretty good. Couple days have gone by now, and I've been working tediously at this wiring, and I'm getting to a point where I think I might be able to start this car fairly soon, maybe next like month or so. I'm pretty confident we can get there. It's pretty close. I did just weld in this little boss thing here, and that's going to be for a jump post. Being my batteries in the back of the car, I do want to be able to jump this car easily if need be, so that little spot there is going to be a jump post. I'll get it bolted up in a minute. But as you can see, I think I showed some wiring before, but there's really not much left on the table here. There's a cluster, the control heater, the climate control box thingy, and the stocks, turn signals, horn, wipers, stuff like that. But I went through a lot of the wiring. A lot of it is done now. Yeah, what else here? I got the ignition in. Currently on like the gauge clusters. That's gonna be next. But there's just, I don't know. There's no way to like really film this. It's just tedious work. So every now and again, I'll just kind of show where I'm at. And a lot of this wiring here too, I will end up bundling it up and making it look a little bit neater. But for the most part, it's all there. I even have like I don't have my headlights yet, but I do have my wires going to the headlights and turn signals. There's plenty of wire that I can cut and shorten, whatever. Same thing on this side, they're down here. And I had a big long piece of ground cable from an old well I don't use. So I'm gonna use this as my battery cable. It's the same thickness, it's 4 gauge. The wiring that was originally in here for the battery was this stuff here, and I actually think this is smaller. I think this is like 6 or maybe even 8 gauge. It's kind of thin, but if that's what I used before, that's what I'm gonna use again. Except this stuff's a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna be using this as my battery cable. And I got it slightly ran. I'm just gonna do this post real quick. I'll get it bolted up right here. Here we go. And I didn't fully weld the bottom yet. I figure when the car's in pieces again, It'll be easier to get the welder into there. I have the few lines right there. I didn't want to go nuts. I did cover this with a wet towel when I did do the 3 sides with the weld. So essentially one cable will go there, and this other one right here will go on the other side. Whoop. So really I just gotta cut and lengthen this, and I do have my ends here. So I'll do that next. All right, and with it connected, that's what it's looking like. I actually like how it's tucked up under there. I think I'm just gonna get like a little rubber cap just to put on top in case of an event where like it grounds out to itself. I don't want no flames over there really near the fuel rails. Another hour and a half later, and I've been working on the stocks here with the turn signals. You can see the little right there. And these have to basically route around there, down, under there, under the seat, all the way to the back. So I got them plenty long enough here. I mean, they got to be like 10 feet long. But there's 12 wires right there anyways. And the next ones are gonna be these ones right here. So I gotta do the same thing. These also go to the stocks. These got quite a bit more. I actually might have to order some wiring because this is some thicker gauge stuff. This is looking like 16. The rest are like 18. And then I have some 20 gauge stuff over here. But I have quite a bit of wiring laying around. A couple spools here and there. I have my pile over here. So I'm just kind of taking my time, getting it sorted out. But we're getting there. A few days have gone by, and I'm a bit further now too. So all the wires connected to the stock here are all connected and in a loom. They go all the way down here. And I got a lot of them labeled as well, so I should be able to get them attached back to where they need to be. And then currently what I'm working on is the brake, the gas, and the clutch harness right here, which is basically good to go now. There's quite some wires here now, but I'm making headway, so this is good. I think I'm back on schedule. I'm happy with that. And then going back to the main harness, this is going to be fun attaching all this stuff back together. But we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Alrighty, another quick update here. I've been working on the main harness to the back of the gauge cluster here. There is 3 wild plugs here. They got a crap load of wires. I got the gray one done here, all extended. I got the green one done there, and I started the blue one, which has the most wires. And I actually ran out of spools of wires, so I have to order some more wire before I can continue on with this. And now I'm kind of having a second thought about, what is it? This climate control box here. Normally, or as it is now, it does fit in this section right here. And I think I might actually ditch it, because now that the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to use everything that's on here. The things on here that I can actually use is going to be these 2 heated seat buttons. I had defrosters, but I went back home and I looked at my windows. I actually don't even have a rear defroster window style. It's just a regular plain window. So I'm not going to need that. And no, I really don't need none of these. This auto thing, I don't need that. This return thing, don't need that. The off thing, don't need that. The only other thing I would want, it would be these switches here for the rear windows. But it's such a big box, and I really don't, I'm only using like 3 things off this module, you know what I mean? And I really don't need all this to run the car either, and it's still a big loom of wiring. And if I just get rid of that, I can ditch basically this whole stock of wire. which will kind of free up and slim my harness quite a bit, 'cause it's still quite a lot going on here. So I think I might just ditch that. My plan is either make this new or just maybe fill in this, maybe with like a piece of aluminum, just weld it back in and sand it flush and then weld the backside. So once I complete the face of this again, I can kind of re-drill some smaller holes for the switches. I'm gonna do a switch for the main headlights, 2 switches for the heated seats. I'm gonna do like a power outlet for like USB for charging phones and whatnot. And then I'm gonna do 1 rocker switch that'll control the rear windows. Oh, and a switch for the heater core as well, so I can have heat in this car. I think that's basically it. Oh, while I'm right in here, I did get my speakers wired up and the radio is all hooked up. I did test it. Sounds pretty good for what it is. For only having 4 speakers, it's a lot better than your average Bluetooth speaker. But these are just the main powers that are left. So I just got, this one's got to go to ignition switch. This red one, this yellow one's got to have constant power, and then the brown is just the ground. And I did make some little holes here. The wire loom goes through here and through there. Same thing on the other door on the other side. And it kind of like runs up here behind this wall and then goes to this little guy here, which is gonna live, and it goes under here. And I made like a little grommet and that fits in there pretty good. And then I was also kind of thinking to move these gauges up top here, because down there you really can't, like, I mean, you can see them, but when you're driving, you kind of just want to see them like while you're driving. But then also, there's really no reason for me to actually be looking at these gauges. One's just a boost gauge, and like I don't really care what that looks like. It's good to have for like testing and whatnot, but I'm not gonna be constantly watching a boost gauge while I'm driving. I'm gonna be watching the road. You know what I mean? So I was almost thinking just to like make a plate up here and set them up here, but really just don't need that. And then the other one's just the AFR gauge, a fuel ratio gauge, which will be nice just for like the initial startup and testing and stuff like that. But again, I'm not going to be watching both these gauges. The gauges this car really only needs are the ones that came stock with this car or with the Audi. And it's basically just these. I mean, the most important one in my eyes is probably the voltage, the coolant, the fuel gauge, and like, you know, the go fast gauge too is cool. And I mean, they're all important, but these are the ones you really just got to have. And that's, the car will, if you have that, that's all the basic, the only ones you really need. I think when you have like 5 or an extra 5 random gauges, it just flutters, it clusters the car, and like it's stuff you really don't like need for like a build like this anyways, because everything is still stock in a way. I'm not doing any like crazy like engine mods to the actual engine. I'm just gonna run it stock the way it is, stock turbo. The only thing that's different is the intake manifold. The runners I shortened up, so I might lose low end torque. But in a car that's only 1,600 pounds, I don't think that's really gonna matter. But anyways, I think I'm gonna leave it here at this one. I still got loads of wiring to do, and I really don't wanna film it. I'm just really concentrating. Everything's labeled. So I'm just gonna leave it here on this one, and hopefully next time we might be able to turn this thing over, or I'm gonna start a few other smaller knickknacks to this car that I'm gonna probably film. So, all right guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.